Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast with your host, Nicole
and Hannah. Come join us for some hopeful conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing.
Hey, y'all. We are back for another episode. Hannah is still out of town and she couldn't make it today, but we will be recapping the engagement plot on UPtv with my friend Cricket, who I met at Rama Drama in West Palm Beach, and who is starting her own podcast dedicated to the awesome Trevor Donovan. Welcome to the podcast, Cricket.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole, for having me.
You're welcome.
And I feel so blessed. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
So before we get started on our recap, let's just talk a little bit about Rama Drama and what your favorite part of the weekend was.
Okay. Well, it was all such amazing. Like, I don't even know if I could pinpoint one specific time frame. I think the karaoke party was definitely one of the highlights of the trip, of the whole event. I just felt like everybody was so relaxed and having so much fun. And it just didn't even feel like an event. It felt like we were all at a concert together or something.
Yeah.
Not with our friends and having such a great time, I mean, I felt so good about it. I started dancing. I mean, you saw that little clip. I mean, that's how I was feeling.
Yes. And I remember you got up on stage with, I think it was Wes Brown and
yes, it was Neil Bledsoe.
Yes. And then a few other ladies
was up there as well. Yes.
Yes, Riley was there, and then a few other ladies that were there.
Yes. And then I believe the girl singing was Caroline, so that's why she picked the Sweet
Caroline. Yes.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Like,
I believe their group was the Spicy Honeys, I believe.
I think, well, that was the other group, wasn't it?
Oh, that was the other group, maybe?
Because the other group did Sweet Caroline too, the Heinies.
I can't remember which one, but it was a great performance.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't even know for sure. I just knew that the girl's name was Caroline. Because, Vicky Mangelson. She was the one who came and asked me and said, hey, we're getting ready to go on stage. You want to go up there with us? And I'm like, of course, let's do that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it was last minute. I didn't even know they were going to ask me to go up there, but it was so much fun. So I'm so glad she asked me to go up there.
Yes, I enjoyed seeing that performance. Y'all did a great job.
Well, thank you. It was so much fun. Like,
you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, as far as any of the other time, I mean, obviously seeing Trevor and getting to talk with him again was so amazing, as always. He's always so kind and always so nice to chat with and whatnot. But the other event was the Acting with the Stars. Like, that was another amazing time. Like, I can't even, it was so nice to see them interact with each other, and be on stage together, but also being like impromptu, like, I just thought it was so much fun, like, to see them like that in different roles. And then to see Brandon Clark directing up there. I mean, you didn't see that ever anywhere either, so that was awesome. It was awesome.
I wish I'd been at that, but I didn't get a ticket for that. So I wasn't there.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I feel bad now.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. I didn't get a ticket in enough time.
Oh goodness. Well, hopefully they'll do it at the next one, and you'll get to see another skit or whatever with some of them.
Yes,
so,
but I heard it was a lot of fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Being on a plane in general is like funny and can be really funny or disastrous, if you will. But seeing them up there pretending they're on a plane was just, it was.
I can imagine.
Yes. And there was one scene when Neil was like acting like he went to the bathroom and he took his bag of chips with him and he had him in his mouth as he's going to the bathroom. I mean, we were all we're like, oh my gosh. She's like, you took the bag of chips with you?
I can't even.
Oh no, it was great. It was so great. Like,
oh my God.
I think one of the people I was with, and I think it was Jen Silliman. She's like, yeah, they need to do like a "Whose Line Is It Anyway" skit next time.
I think I remember her saying that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on a podcast episode.
Yes. And I said, oh my gosh, that would be the coolest thing ever to have them do that. So who knows? Maybe we'll do that.
Yes.
Next drama.
Yes. Shout out to Jen. We love you, Jen.
All right, Jen. Woo-hoo.
I think karaoke night was probably my favorite. I would be remiss if I didn't say singing with Kristen was my favorite part.
Yes. And that was so beautiful hearing you
Thank
guys.
you.
I mean, I know that just that was a highlight of the event, but also I'm sure a highlight of your actual life.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. So I think
only at Rama Drama.
Only at Rama Drama. That's right.
Never would have happened.
What will happen next? You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was very nervous at first, as you could probably remember from when I first got on stage. I was literally just like, take a deep breath, breathe.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
And then when I started singing, I guess it flowed pretty easily, and all the nerves just went away. So
that's awesome. I don't know if I don't think my nerves would have went away.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was still a little nervous, like the whole performance, but I guess I didn't want to show it.
I didn't tell at all. You looked like you were on it. You were on cue. You were doing it, and you were.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was so much fun, and it was very sweet of her to do that.
That was very sweet of her. I think I told you before, I didn't watch the Postables that much, but just meeting her, because I had got a selfie with her and got a photograph signed with my best friend and that. And she was just so kind and so generous. Time and her presence really inspired me too. She just such an amazing person. And now, since Rama Drama's over, I've kind of looked at her page and I follow her now and everything. So yeah, she's definitely a star, if you will. So
yes, she's very sweet. The whole cast is very kind.
That's nice. That is so cool.
Yeah, and that of course was another favorite part. And then meeting all of my fellow Postables, and the luncheon on Saturday was a lot of fun.
Yes,
I can't remember if you were there.
I was. I didn't see you though.
I was there, but I loved when Zach was bantering back and forth with Eric and Gregory with the cubes that one of the Postables designed with lines from their character from the show. That was great. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw them, but I was actually talking with somebody at the table while we were eating. But I saw them and I knew that something great was going on, but I wanted the fans who followed them, religiously in a sense, to have that time. And so I was just sitting at a table and eating the lunch. And I actually met somebody who lives not too far from where I work.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm like, what? I work right down the road from there, so it was really cool. And I always feel like everything happens for a reason, because she's actually a school teacher, or she's
that is awesome.
Yeah, so it was amazing. So had a really good time at that lunch. And even the outside one too was nice.
Yeah, on Friday, the cocktail party, that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday, I loved when Zach was like, I'm going to open a hair salon in Milwaukee and you're going to come with me. And he was talking to Eric at this point. And then I think a few seconds later, Zach says, and your father would be very proud of you. And Gregory just I think looks at Zach and then looks at Eric, and he's like, indeed I would.
Almost like a true line from the show, right? That's awesome. Yeah, I feel bad. I don't know a lot of these, so I apologize. I am going to get better at it though, I promise, because I do want to see them.
You definitely should watch them.
Absolutely.
And then I think another favorite memory I would have to say would be the Postables panel, and then the SSD games, which were put together by my wonderful friends Casey, Cammie, and Jess at Deliver Me a Podcast. They did a great job.
Yeah, I heard that it was really good. I didn't go to that, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, they had trivia and we had a costume contest, and then we did skits with scenes from the series, which was a lot of fun. For the costume contest, I dressed up as Rita, which that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I don't think we saw all the pictures of those, though. Didn't they take pictures at one point?
I know that they did take a few pictures. I have one from the Rita Doppelganger contest. All of us who dressed up as Rita got a picture with Crystal, because Crystal and Kristen and Gregory and Zach came in the room to watch the costume contest, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool too. That's
awesome. Unfortunately, they had a commitment, I think, and they weren't able to watch the skits, but it was still a lot of fun. And I was in one of the skits. My group did the scene from the Christmas movie when they were all in the mailbox grill with Jordan, and Shane comes in and she says to Norman, what have you done with the sourdough? Because they're getting ready for the Christmas pageant. I don't want to spoil it since you haven't seen the movie.
I know, right? But I know the sourdough part now.
You'll have to watch out for it. It was a fun scene.
I definitely will. But
altogether, I just loved meeting everyone, all the actors and all of my friends.
Yeah. So was that your first Rama drama then?
That was actually my first fan convention type of event.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that's a good one to start with. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Rama drama is the best.
It is the best.
Shout out to Gabrielle and Sarah.
I know, Gabrielle and Sarah, absolutely, because they have started something that they are the best. I just can't say more. That's all.
Very nice people. Very kind.
Yes, very nice. But so I went to Nashville, and I think you know that. I went to Nashville, and then so this one I was definitely looking forward to it, because I knew there'd be more things coming, and and seeing all the people that I saw the first time. So it was so much fun. But I ended up hanging out with people I had never met before.
Yeah.
I had talked to him before. And it was funny. I just found out that I thought he was volunteering for them. And he had told me that because he ran the door in Nashville. And so I kept coming in because I was doing like costume changes. I call them costume changes, but changing my clothes for different, time periods. And he was always at the door. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm coming back in. And he'd be like, oh, it's okay. You know how Chad is.
Yeah.
But so we kind of talked a little bit at the brunch. And so then we kept in contact, and so then this time it was nice to actually hang out with him. So it's very nice.
Yeah. He's a great guy. Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I heard Nashville was a lot of fun too.
It was. I mean, it was new to me. That was the first time I had ever been to a fan convention, and it was funny because, as a fan of an actor or an actress, you always have that idea in your head that you're going to meet them one day, But as far as meeting Trevor, I never thought I would ever get to meet him for a long time, because there was just nothing out there other than seeing his movies or going to California if there's some sort of red carpet event or something. It just wasn't something that I thought would ever happen. But then when the post came across from Roma Drama saying, come and meet your favorite actors and actresses from Hallmark and, GAC family, whatever. What?
Yeah.
So, but it was so nice to be able to go to that. And, I knew the next one was going to be even better.
Yes, I think it will too.
I know.
I'm looking forward to hearing where it is.
They need to hurry up. Let us know when the next one is. I'm so ready to go.
Yeah. Although I need to save up my funds.
I know, right? Exactly. Save now. I started saving as soon as I got home.
Oh.
So
I'm trying to save too.
Yes, absolutely. And I told one of my other friends that wants to go, I said, just start saving a little bit now. And, when you do have to go, you'll have, not that much money will be spent on everything right away.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see myself not going to them anymore.
I know. It's a great event. I just love how like intimate, I guess, the setting is, like compared to other conventions.
Yes, I went
and
to
it's not even a convention, really. I mean, it's like a family reunion, I think. I've heard people say.
That's what I've said too. Yes, it's like a family reunion, especially after going the first time and coming back and seeing everybody that you saw the first time. It definitely was like a family reunion, but then everybody that was there felt the same way, even though it was their first time. So
yes,
it's like a big family reunion. You're going around saying hi to everybody that you haven't seen for a while.
I know. Like that was the first time I actually really met so many of my friends from like Instagram and Twitter, like in person all at once.
Yes, it's so true. I mean, you see all these people on there and you see their faces on their little logo or whatever, the little circle, and you're like, okay. I mean, even before Ramadrama, I was looking at everybody's posts to try to find people when I got, so I could know what they look like, and it's true though. I was doing the same thing.
Back in May, I met one of my friends that I know through When Calls the Heart. She came to visit me in Mount Pleasant, and we, hung out. We did an Instagram live. I don't know if you were on that live. I can't remember, but
I can't remember if I was or not either.
But her name is Carrie. Shout out Carrie.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. But then, jump forward a month. Like it was overwhelming just how many of my friends I got to meet. So it was a great time.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so much at one time, but it was so great,
Yeah.
You absorbed everything. And it was, I think, I had talked a little bit ago about how you felt like you just walked into a whole new world when you walked through those doors.
Yeah.
And it
was like when I walked through the doors, it was like shrills. Like
I know, right? And then it's like all your stress just went away. There was no stress involved whatsoever. You could be you, and everybody was like liking the same thing. So it wasn't like everybody was so happy, and it was just amazing. It's such a good time.
Yeah, I think maybe some of the first people I met were some of the postables. I think Fatula was one. She's the one that won Shane's wedding dress for the auction and gave it to Serena.
Yes.
Young postable and Kristen fan. And then I think Mary Beth maybe, and a few other postables, and then Casey, Kimmy, and Jess, and Dara. And you might have been another one that I met like very early on too.
I know we were in line. I don't know what day that was, but I think that's when I met you.
Friday. It was Friday. We were in line waiting for our experiences, like celebrity experience cards, punch cards.
I know, and that was crazy. I love how they did the cards though this year, because I still have some of them. I didn't even get to go to all my lines because I was, having too much fun.
Oh yeah. I got to meet everyone but Erin Cahill, Jesse Hutch, and Drew Fuller, I believe, and Danica.
Yeah, Danica wasn't there that long, was she? She was only there for a little bit.
She was only there on Saturday, and
like that.
The only other time I could have met Danica, I had my photo op with Eric.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not passing that up. I'm so sorry, Danica. I get that.
And
I would
then
have to pass on something too if I had that.
I think a lot of the reason why I didn't meet Aaron and Jesse and Drew is because I was caught up in all the signed, sealed, delivered stuff, because I had a Postables ticket. So
gotcha.
I was going to a lot of the SSD driven things, but I did see some of the other panels, which were awesome.
Yes. I didn't see a lot. I went to the bridal shower for Brittany and Dustin and Jackie and her husband, Alex.
I heard that was fun.
It was. I actually helped Dustin with his wedding dress. Me and Catherine from Spin It a Button, her and I did the wedding dress, I believe. Or maybe it was Amy. I can't remember.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we were putting that wedding dress together out of toilet paper, and that was so much fun. Like It was hard though, because every time you try to do something right, it would rip and you're like, oh my gosh, like why is it ply?
Oh my goodness. I think that was at the same time as the cocktail party. So I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was the panel. I think it was the same time as
I think it was the panel. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And I was chatting with, I think, Sarah and Catherine and Julie. Yeah. In McGarry's chat before Rama Drama. And we were talking about the bridal shower. And I think I mentioned, oh, I wish I could be there, but it's at the same time as the Postables panel. And Sarah said something like, if you show up at the bridal shower, I'm just going to like push you over to the Postables
back out, right? Like, what are you doing here? Get out. Yeah. You're not supposed to be here.
Shout out to y'all. We love you.
I know, right?
Yeah. Sarah, Julie, and Catherine are awesome. Very nice.
They are. They're very sweet, very kind.
Yes. And I loved the bundle game activity that they did on Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't get to do that one.
That was awesome. Eric and Kristen and Brittany and Jesse were the 4 that played the bundle game with Jax and her sister. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, Jax always has good bundle games. I see him all the time on Twitter, but I've never really actually played one or interacted with them. So I have to do that one of these times.
Yeah,
definitely.
But overall, the whole weekend was just amazing.
It was.
And I can't wait to go back to another one.
I know. I didn't want to
someday.
Leave. I didn't want to.
Go ahead.
No, I just said I didn't want to leave. Like, the
I know.
made and the people you met and the time that you had, and it was so wonderful,
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. So we'll just have to sigh and just wait for the date. I know, right? It's like, oh
yeah, we're still in that Rama Drama bubble.
Absolutely. It's a big one too. Whew. See it, look, it's bubble right here too. Like I made that into my podcast thing.
Your logo. Yeah.
It's hidden back there, you just can't see it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should get started on our recap and why we're actually here.
Absolutely.
So we will be recapping the engagement plot, which premiered on UPtv this past weekend on Sunday, August 21st. It stars Rachel Boston as Hannah Knight, Trevor Donovan as Will Preston, and our friend Jacqueline Collier, or as we all call her, Jax, as Carly Zides. I have the synopsis from IMDb, which reads, after getting her heart broken on The Price of Love, a wildly popular dating reality show that matches 20-something female contestants with a young, financially successful bachelor, teacher Hannah Knight has returned to her small-town Colorado life and moved on to better things. But her quiet life is rudely interrupted when Will Preston, the hunk who broke her heart on national TV, shows up unexpectedly with hat in hand and an outrageous literal proposal. So when you saw the preview for this movie, what were your first thoughts?
Honestly, it reminded me of the show, The Bachelor, because Yeah, because you see them coming in the carriages and that.
Yeah.
That seem, I haven't watched a lot of them, but I have watched some of them, but it did remind me of the reality show, the real one. And they did a really good job on that. I really feel the commercial
They did.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never watched a single episode of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, but I do agree that they did a great job.
Really? How did you ever get away from that? How have you never seen an episode or even like just a clip of one?
Oh, I mean, I've seen clips on TV, like
okay. So you've
commercials,
seen...
but
okay,
never actually
watched the episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess it's just not really something I'm into, like Hannah.
Right, absolutely. I remember when I was a little younger, one of my good friends was into watching it, and so she, said, "You got to watch it tonight." And I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes, but you do get hooked on it because you want to know, who is who. And what is their personality, and you start getting defensive, if the guy is truly a good person, then you start getting defensive with some of these women that are on there. So but it's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I have heard of like some of the people that have been on the show, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's something. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I do watch some reality TV, but really the only reality TV shows that I watch are American Idol, sometimes The Voice, and sometimes Chris Lee Knows Best.
Oh, really? What is that one? I don't think I've heard that one, or I don't know about that one.
It's about a family,
okay,
the Chris Lees.
Oh, okay.
And the dad, I believe, grew up somewhere in South Carolina. I can't remember where, but
okay, that's really cool. I've never heard of that one.
You should check it out. I think it plays on USA, I think, if I'm correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It's a funny show.
Yeah. As far as reality shows, I used to watch Big Brother. I was hooked on Big Brother for a while, and Survivor.
I've heard of those. Yeah.
Funny story. I actually tried out for Survivor.
What? Really?
I did. I didn't make it, but I tried out.
Oh.
And that was back when I was in shape more, and I thought I could handle it, the mental toughness, and I was ready to make a fire and everything. But yeah, I tried out for it when I lived in Maryland.
That would have been fun.
It so would have been fun. Yeah. I would have been eaten alive by mosquitoes, I'm sure, but it would have been fun.
I probably would have to.
And then that was interesting too, because all the plots and twists and, the deceiving and all that. Yeah. So
I actually, speaking of Survivor, there's one more reality show that I used to watch. It's not on anymore, but I was like hooked on it seriously. It was called Endurance. It was basically like a teenage version of Survivor.
Oh, okay.
And with the show, I believe they start out with about 30, 40 contestants. I can't remember the exact number. It's been so long since I've seen it. But the first thing that happens is they have a right to stay challenge. And I believe that narrows it down to 20. So 10 girls and 10 boys. And then after the right to stay challenge, they divide up into teams. So like the yellow team, the blue team, the purple team, the red team, the orange team, the brown team, the gray team. I think I named them all. And then as the weeks go on, they do these challenges. And of course, teams are eliminated as the weeks go on. And they have endurance missions, and then they have temple missions. And I think some are like physical activities that, involve like, your physical ability and strength. And then the temple missions, I believe, are kind of the same thing. Like they can be physical, or they can be like a game of the mind.
Okay.
And with the endurance missions, whichever team wins that mission, they are given what is called a samadhi. And then that team that is given the samadhi, they, talk it over for a few hours, and they decide what team they are going to give the samadhi to. Most of the time, whatever is in the samadhi debilitates that team that it's given to for the temple mission. And then for the temple missions, whoever wins the temple mission, they get to choose 2 teams to go up against each other at the temple. And then, of course, one team wins up at the temple, and then they get to go back, and then the other team goes home. So that's how the teams are eliminated on the show.
Oh, okay.
And in the temple missions, that is a game of the mind. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of mind game. And they have 3 pillars, one that contains water, one that contains fire, and then one that contains wood. So it's basically like you have to outwit your opponent by choosing the dominant element. And whoever wins, I think it's 2 or 3 times, they get to go back and compete for another
I see.
Week or however long.
That's really cool. And you said they're mostly teenagers that are on that show?
Yeah, mostly teenagers.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because, depending on what age they are, that would be so cool because they feel like they're on Survivor probably.
Yeah.
Their own version of it. So that's
yeah. It was a good show. I enjoyed watching it. I think the age was like 13 maybe to like 16, something like that.
Well, when you said Temple, it reminded me of the Nickelodeon show. I used to watch it with my kids.
Yeah, I think it was on
Temple, it's called The Temple, wasn't it on Nickelodeon?
Maybe. But and this show I think was on Discovery Kids.
Okay.
Which is kind of like Nickelodeon.
Yeah. No, I used to love it. My kids would always watch the one with the flags, the slime show is called whatever it was called. And I think
I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I wanted to go on there so bad and I never got on there. So, but yeah, I thought that would have been so much fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, like on the show, the teams form alliances.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Each other.
That's awesome. That's really cool though. But with kids, oh man, I can't imagine. It's bad enough with adults. You imagine kids doing that?
Sometimes it got really catty and I'm just like,
oh, I bet.
It's like really get a grip.
Right.
But it was still fun to watch, still entertaining.
That's really cool. I think as a teenager, I probably would have loved that show. If they would have had something like that back in the day.
I still go back on YouTube sometimes and watch.
Oh, really? I'll have to look it up just to see. I'll have my daughter watch it. She's 10, so she might really like it, actually.
I'll have to send you clips. I don't know if they actually have full episodes anywhere. They might.
Okay.
But I'll have to see if I can find them and send them to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. She'd love those.
You're welcome.
I'll look at them too. I might like them too. You never know.
Oh, yeah. And what's cool is like each season, they did a different location.
Okay.
Like in the world. I don't remember where the first one was. Maybe somewhere in like Southern California or Mexico, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Like I think it was in a desert area, I believe. I can't remember where the second season was filmed. The third season, it was called Endurance Hawaii, and I believe they filmed on the island of Kauai, if I'm correct.
Okay.
And then the fourth season, I think it was in the Tehachapi Mountains. I think. And then I know they filmed one in Fiji.
Oh, that's cool.
And then that might have been the last season, I think. But it was a fun show. So
yeah, it sounds a lot like Survivor. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I have to look into that.
Yes. So do we want to get into the general overview of the movie?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So in the beginning of the movie, we see that Will is preparing for the opening of the next season of The Price of Love. And of course, we know that he is the bachelor for that season. And we see the contestants arriving in their own carriage, like we mentioned just a few minutes ago. In the first round on The Price is Love, there are 10 women who are vying for Will's heart. Their names are Emily Johnson, Claire Rodriguez, Kayla Spencer, Brittany Storms, Rebecca Ramos, Jennifer Card, Julia Jenkins, Catherine Lee, Kelsey Chambers, who is a social media influencer, and Hannah Knight, who teaches elementary school, 5th grade, and Sunday school at her community church. I loved the first meeting that she had with Will when she defines true love.
True love, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I really did. I thought that moment was very touching. She was like real in that moment.
Yes. And she said it was something that her mother used to say. True love is what makes us real.
Yeah. So true.
So after all the contestants meet Will, all of the contestants, they are in one of the rooms in the castle, and they're all talking to each other. And Kelsey comes up with the nickname Holy Hannah. I wrote in my notes in all caps, seriously?
Right?
Seriously?
And I want to know, like, is it because she made a comment during that, when she was talking in that scene, and that's why she just came up with it? Like, that was a quick comeback, for her to have that name already. So that was,
I don't know, but I was just like, really, Kelsey?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kelsey was just not one that
she was too much.
She was too much. She did play that role really well.
She did, yeah. I also loved Hannah's comeback for that. I don't have the line written down, but she said something like, is that supposed to offend me? We've only known him for 30 minutes.
Yes.
And if I get kicked out the first round, I won't be offended.
Right. No, and it's funny because I'm sure there's probably women out there that probably, if they go on like that, and I've probably seen some of them on that show that are really like vying for that type of relationship.
Yeah.
So it was surprising though when they tell later like how she ended up on the show, but to see on there was kind of surprising. But she was right. She was taking her time. Like, you can't just jump into that fast.
Yeah, that's way too fast.
Way too fast. Way too fast.
We see the first token ceremony and the host, Deidre, speaking. She says, in the price of love, just like in life, first impressions aren't everything, but they're vital. She goes on to say, for 8 of the contestants, that night will be the first of many more interactions with Will, in which he'll get to know them and they'll get to know him as they continue to interview for the role of his fiancée. The medallion given to the 8 remaining contestants represents Will's desire to get to know them on a deeper level. The 8 women moving forward are Kelsey, Julia, Rebecca, Claire, Emily, Kayla, Catherine, and Hannah. So after the token ceremony, Hannah has a phone conversation with her best friend, Carly. Hannah tells her she feels like she's living in another universe and that she doesn't feel like a real relationship can come out of this. But she does admit that Will is very handsome. And Carly tells Hannah she's got it in the bag. I have this written down for favorite moments, so we can talk about it a little bit more later. But I loved that scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good scene. I love seeing Jackson there.
Yes. She knocked it out of the park.
Yes. Now, was that the same scene? And I hope I'm not skipping here. Is that the same scene where she says, you called me for your only phone call?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I thought it was, but I didn't want to misquote it. Yeah. That's awesome.
Next, we see clips of Will getting to know the 8 contestants. When Will is talking to Hannah, she tells him that her dad owns a store called Sweet Nights, which is home of the world's most delicious candy apple.
Yes.
I kind of want to try those candy apples.
Those candy apples look like a toothache waiting to happen. I'm sorry. They were so full of chocolate chip. Don't get me wrong, they looked amazing. But I can't imagine biting into one of those because I know I'd have like an instant toothache.
Oh, yeah. I'd be worried I'd chip a tooth.
Right.
But they still look really good.
They do, but they're getting so like gourmet with them. Like they have, and they're huge. Like some of these things that you see nowadays, they're huge. They're like, where'd they get that apple from? Because I've never seen an apple that size.
I haven't either.
Yeah. But yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they did. He and her mom opened the store together when they first got married. Her mom passed away a few years ago, and her dad has been trying to do everything on his own recently. And then we hear Will say that he loves apples, candy, and anything with sugar. So he mentions coming for a visit.
Yes.
To try.
Anytime.
The candy apples.
Yeah.
Hannah meets with the host, Deidre, and one of the producers, Tyson.
Yes.
trouble Tyson.
Yeah.
Or Tyson the troublemaker.
There you go. That's it. Tyson the troublemaker. I can't even I have so many words for that. I mean,
we'll talk about that a little bit because I have some words.
Sounds good. I'm ready. I don't even have to look at my notes for that one.
I don't either. They are filming a segment for the show, and Deidre asks if she is falling for Will. Hannah's response to that is that she doesn't know and to check back in a week if she's still there. Mm-hmm. Tyson stops her and wants her to share what she thinks separates her from the fake pretentious girls that don't know Will like she does. Mm-hmm. When answering the question again, am I falling for Will? She says that she thinks Will is one of the sweetest men she's ever met. She doesn't care about the wealth and success. Mm-hmm. She cares that he's a good listener and that he respects her faith and commitment to find true love and a partner to grow old with. When she's away from everyone and alone, she wonders what a small town girl like her has to offer someone like him.
I know. Such a good response. Whoever wrote that was so good. I mean, I think a lot of the women who maybe go on that show or any show or not even a show probably feel that way.
Yes. The screenplay for this movie was written by Taylor Bird.
Okay. Any relation to Brian Bird then? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember the relation, but I know that they are related.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. Yes.
That is. That's so awesome.
And it's based on a book as well by Krista Phillips.
Yes.
She wrote the novel.
I wonder how different it is from the book and the movie.
I don't know. I haven't read the book yet. I'll have to read the book now.
I know. I want to read the book too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was such a good scene though.
Yeah.
Very good scene.
Tyson has a video call with his boss. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what this woman does at the network, but she mentions that they've been watching the dailies and wants to know if the farmer's daughter, Hannah, could actually win the season. When she said that, I was like, really? Another lame nickname.
Well, and I'm thinking farmer's daughter. Why are you calling her farmer's daughter? Her dad works at a candied apple store. So where did you get the farmer's daughter from? I know it's not like it's Iowa. I mean, they're in Colorado.
I was like, what's wrong with being a farmer's daughter?
And not only that, right, that too. But I mean, where did they come up with that name? I
don't know. And then the throwing rocks comment.
Yeah.
Who wants to watch
in the river with Will?
Who wants to watch Will throw rocks in the river? I was like, what's wrong with throwing rocks in the river?
I would throw rocks in the river with Will, okay?
I would.
I mean, we could stay there all night and throw rocks together. Not a problem. We could make it interesting.
I was like, what's wrong with that?
Right. I mean, that would be the coolest thing ever. Because you know what? Who doesn't want to try to get at least 5 skips when you throw it in? I mean, come on.
I can tell you, I'm horrible at that.
I did 5 one time and I was jumping up and down because I'm like, I found this really flat rock and I was like, this is the ticket right here. And I took it and I did. I was posing for it. I'm getting it ready.
Oh my goodness.
And I throw it out and I did 5 and I was so happy with that. But yeah, anyway,
that's awesome. I think mine has been just one skip maybe.
Yes.
If any.
Well, sometimes it doesn't matter how
it's hard.
It is. It's not easy. That's the only one I've ever done in my whole life. So I can brag about it, but
She also says that the network wants to do a series spinoff with the winning couple with Tyson as a producer. And that's when she mentions the comment about the rock. So
yes. I know, right?
Yes. Tyson also mentions that Will is about to go on the home visits with Hannah and Kelsey's family. He promises that he'll ask leading questions and try to nudge them as best he can, but he can't force a guy to reject a woman he really cares about. And he is informed that like I just mentioned, they want him as a producer on the spinoff, but there won't be one if the audience is bored out of their mind and to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like what he said about he can't force Will to make a decision he doesn't want to, but still a troublemaker.
No, he's still a troublemaker because he knew what was on the line and he knew he had to come up with it some way, somehow.
Yeah.
It didn't make him look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say it, but he succeeded, later on.
Yes, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Because I have some words.
Yes. Tyrant is one of them.
Will goes on his home visit with Kelsey and meets her parents and her brother. We find out that Will has a new line of ecologically friendly cosmetics. His company is helping their customers reduce their carbon footprint with recycled application brushes, sustainable ingredients, and so forth. And then we see Will go on his home visit with Hannah to meet her dad, Jim. They have a conversation, at the kitchen table while they're eating lunch. Jim says that he had so many doubts when Hannah told him she was going on the show, and he doesn't like the aspect of dating multiple women at once. I have to agree with that.
Yes. I don't think I could ever go on a reality show like that. And it's not because I'm my sign is a jealous person. I'm a Scorpio, but my thing is honestly, if it's meant to be, then I don't think you should be on a show with 5 other women who are kissing this man that you think is your true
exactly
love.
Exactly.
Especially if you fell in love with him during the show and then you get to see them go with other women, that would just kill me. I would have to leave the show.
That's probably one reason why I don't watch The Bachelor and The Bachelor.
Yes, because you start having feelings, like not for the Bachelor, but you feel for these women who clearly tell have fallen in love with this man. I can't imagine, being on a show with, especially if the women really weren't in it for the love. You know what I mean? Because there's some out there that say, "Oh yeah, I'm in love with him, but I want the money," or you know what I mean? Like that would be the hardest part too, is knowing what these other women were possibly after, instead of what was the whole goal of falling in love with somebody. So
I do have to say I have had crushes on guys before, but I've never actually been in love. So hopefully I will find the right man someday.
And I can't remember if there was a line in this movie or if it was a different one, but there was something about there's never enough time when you find the one that you love. And I can say that it's so true. Like it just seems like there's never enough time in the time frame that you have in this life when you find somebody that you fall in love with. So anyway, sorry. But it's true. I felt that way, and so it's tough.
Will tells Jim that he understands his reservations and shares how it's pretty strange for him to being on the show. While Hannah has been gone, Jim has been doing research on reality TV. It seems to him like what you see on your screen is just manipulated by the producers, but he hopes that this lunch feels like something real and something normal in the midst of all the drama they must be going through back at the castle. When Jim said it's just manipulated by the producers, they pan the camera to Tyson and I'm just like,
right? Yeah,
he's just like shaking his head no, and I'm like, yes, it is.
Yeah, hello. You're the puppet master right now, buddy. Yeah.
I mean, I've never been on a reality show, but I can tell you from what I've heard, it's just the same thing on American Idol.
Really?
It's manipulated. I mean, I still enjoy watching it, like, because I love music and, just the aspect of that. But it's very manipulated a lot of the time.
I can see that, honestly.
Like the producers, they have their favorites.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That they want to go far in the competition, and
Yeah. That's crazy though.
Sometimes it gets annoying. Like sometimes the person that I want wins and sometimes they don't. And then I get mad.
Right. I used to watch the American Idol all the time. And I actually watched when, oh gosh, what was her name? That's terrible. I don't even remember her name. She has her own show and everything.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, the very first winner. Yeah, Kelly Clarkson. I watched that and I fell in love with her. I just thought she was the best. I wanted her to win so bad, and she did. And that
Kelly's
song,
great.
yes, she was just amazing.
I love that song.
So many amazing.
Her first song. Yeah.
Yes. But
such a good song.
I can see that it's still a business, no matter what anybody wants to think about it. It's still a business, so there's got to be some manipulation in there.
Yeah, just getting off track for a second, but like talking about being aggravated by my favorites not winning. The very first season I watched live was season 7. So, you know, I never watched, I'd heard of the show, but I never really watched it live until season 7. And my favorite contestant on the show that season, I mean, I loved them all, but the one that I really wanted to win was David Archuleta.
Yes, I did too, actually. No, I did too. I liked him too. I bought his CD and everything around.
I did too.
Yeah, I did.
I bawled my eyes out when he lost to David.
Yes, I wanted him to win too, so you're not alone there.
I was in, I think, 8th grade, and it was exam week for me.
Oh, goodness.
When the finale came on, and I was
no. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, you were heartbroken.
But of course, I got over it, and I like David Cook, too. He's great.
Yeah, see, I don't even know that he was the one who won. Like, I just know Archuleta.
Yeah, and then let's see.
His CD, he has a red shirt on. I still remember that.
Yeah, I still have that CD.
That's too funny.
And I actually, when he released his first single, I think, you know, like before the CD came out, he was doing something on like a radio show, you know, where they released his single for the first time. I think I got up at like 6 a.m. to listen to this song.
Oh, wow. That's too funny. You know what? You got to do what you got to do, girl. Oh, girl, I could tell you some stories of things I've done.
Oh, gosh.
Let me tell you.
But then the next year, the guy that I wanted to won, Chris Allen. I actually saw him in concert, I think back in 2013 at a local venue here at the Music Farm.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, so the Music Farm, it's basically like a standing room only venue. Okay. And I was almost like right up at the stage. And
oh, wow.
We got there, I think, you know, in plenty of time to get a good spot. I went with my mom, and during the last song, he, you know, walked across the stage and gave people high fives, you know, before he went off stage. And I was one of the ones I got
That's awesome. I know you were.
I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my.
You're like, I'm never washing my hand again.
No, I wasn't that.
Oh.
But I was totally fangirling. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I would be too. Heck yeah. My favorite one, and I don't know what season was Grace VanderWaal.
Oh yeah, I think she was on America's Got Talent.
Oh, is that where it was? Yeah, that you're right.
Yeah.
I think I watched that show too.
Yeah. I loved Philip Phillips. The next season, he was one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
And I actually got to go to the concert for that season, you know, after it had aired. You know, they normally do a summer tour, and I got to meet, I think, 8 out of the 10 contestants, which was really fun.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Although I didn't get to meet Philip, unfortunately.
Oh, no. You got to meet everybody but him?
Everyone but him and Colton Dixon. He's in the Christian music genre.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Which he's great too. But the 2 guys I wanted to meet the most,
they weren't there. That's a bummer.
I mean, they were there, but Philip Phillips, he wasn't feeling well. So he like immediately got on the bus after the show. And Colton, I was this close to meeting Colton.
Oh,
close. I had gone to the show with my mom, and during the show, these 2 women that were sitting behind us, I guess they were like, not in a creepy way, but they were like watching me the whole time, having a good time, jumping up and down, singing along. One of them tapped me on the shoulder during the last song, and she said something along the lines of, hey, I have a backstage pass. Would you like my backstage pass? And I was like, yes, please. I was like, thank you.
I bet you didn't know what to do in that moment. I don't think I would know what to do, but other than say yes, but then be like, oh my gosh, I'm going backstage.
I told her thank you, and I got to meet 2 of them backstage because all of the other ones, they were already outside, behind the venue meeting fans that didn't have VIP passes. They usually do that on that tour. Like for people that don't have VIP passes, the contestants will go out to meet fans.
Please, that's so nice.
By the buses and take photos and, sign autographs and stuff. So I met 2 of them inside for the VIP meet and greet. And then I think I met them again when I went outside.
Oh, that's so cool.
Where everyone else was. And that's where I met all the other ones. And this goes back to Colton because he was all the way at the other end of the line, but I thought he was coming in my direction. He was going the opposite direction. So I was really? I was like, if I had come out 5 more minutes, I was like, if I had come out 5 minutes earlier, I probably
would have met him. Probably. Absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, that's something, especially when you're wanting to meet somebody, to see them at the end and know they're not coming your way. And then the next year was fun too. I got to meet the contestants the following year as well on that tour. And I met 9 out of the 11. So again, I met all of them but 2. That's too funny. Well, they need to condense the list down, and that way you're going to meet all of them.
But they're all really kind people. So after getting way off topic for a few minutes, back to the recap. Sorry about that, y'all. Will mentions how Jim and Hannah live is not much different than how he grew up. He had dinner every night around the table with his mom, dad, and little brother in a home a lot like theirs. He had a normal childhood, and it's been a few years since Will and his family sat down for lunch like that, and they only live an hour away. He calls them a few times a week when he's not shooting a reality TV show, which I think is nice that he still keeps in touch with his family.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, depending on, it's current time. So to have that ability to sit down with your parents and have a dinner is very important nowadays. So,
yeah.
Very nice. Kind of tells you a little about his character too.
Yes.
That he might not be as bad as we think.
Yeah.
Not that I was thinking that by any means.
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Like in general, somebody on a show, like you just kind of wonder, are they really a good person or not? Are they just doing it for whatever?
Yeah. So Hannah, she has a conversation with her dad. She doesn't know for sure if Will is going to pick her, but she's starting to hope that he does. Jim really likes him. She does worry sometimes because they're from 2 completely different worlds. Since he's so focused on business, she thinks someone else, like Kelsey, could be better for him. But then she thinks about how sweet he is and how easy their conversations are. And she mentions that she's really falling for him. And this is when
Tyrant to Tyson to Tyrant, whatever his name is, we just dubbed him.
He, looks over at Hannah and his
mind is swirling, girl. It's swirling
with how he's going to ruin things.
The wheels were turning as he was walking away.
My blood is boiling right now talking about
Well, and it's funny because you don't know really what's going on until later in that scene. And then you remember back and you're like, oh my gosh. Seriously.
When I saw that scene, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good.
Right.
This is not going to be
right. Something bad is coming from that.
He's going to twist her words or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And speaking of that, we'll just go on to that right now because that's the next scene.
Sounds good.
Will meets with Deidre and Tyson for a segment on the show before the final ceremony. He is asked where his heart is. He says that Kelsey is a lot of fun, full of energy and excitement. He never knows what to expect with her in a good way. He really thinks that they could make a great team in business and in life. With Hannah, he thinks that it's something deeper. He really feels like he can be himself around her. He says that she makes him want to be a better man without actually saying the words. And he loves her heart, tenderness, humor, and her ability to share her feelings and listen. He also mentions that he doesn't want to lose her. I believe his words were, "How could I let her walk out of my life?" Which I thought was really sweet.
Oh, it's very sweet. I really like that scene because he was so genuine when he was saying that, and he knew already how he felt about her.
Yes.
I feel anyway.
Yes. Tyson wants to know what Will's thoughts on what she told her father after the lunch and the camera stopped rolling are. Will doesn't know anything about what he's talking about because he wasn't eavesdropping on the conversation. According to Tyson, these were Hannah's words. "We're from two different worlds. How could we share a life together? It doesn't make any sense. Kelsey is so much better for him than I will ever be."
Yeah. And then he doesn't tell the rest of the whole conversation.
This is exactly why I don't like reality TV. The producers twist people's words.
Yes. Well, he didn't actually twist them. He just left a lot of them out.
Yeah, he left a lot of them out.
I mean, he was telling the truth. She did say that. So he
she did say that. Yeah.
He could justify it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
all of the other ones, the most important ones, out.
Yes, they leave what they want to in.
Yes. And take out what they don't want in there. It's just so messed up. I was like, are you kidding me? In that moment, I'm just like, you need to tell him the rest. You need to tell him the rest. And I'm like, when are you going to tell him the rest? And I'm like, banging on my table as I'm watching this.
Oh my gosh.
And then, what is Will supposed to do? He's like, what? She said that?
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Will breaks things off with Hannah and proposes to Kelsey. And of course, she says yes. I wrote in my notes in all caps, "Boo!" Yeah, that was a hard scene to watch.
Oh my gosh, I cried.
And when I was watching it live, the TV cut out, so I didn't hear anything.
Oh no.
I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I know a couple of people on Twitter, they were getting storms and they were so worried that the lights and stuff were going to go out and they were going to miss it. So it's crazy.
There is a time jump to 4 months later. Will has a board meeting with his company. His friend and driver, Leo, comes along. I love when they first get to the meeting and Leo kind of like kicks his feet up on the
yeah, right up on the desk.
And Doug's like, why is he here?
Exactly. And then he goes, well, the last time I checked, I'm still the CEO on LinkedIn or whatever he said. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. BuzzFeed and the rest of the clickbait world are reporting that he and Kelsey are no longer will see.
I know, I heard that too. I was like, and it's funny because when I first watched the first time, I didn't hear that. Of course, I was tweeting and doing everything, but
ship names.
You're right. I didn't hear that. So when I did, watched it again, I was like, how did I miss will see? And how did I not see anybody tweet about that? Because I did not see that.
Oh my goodness.
I missed that during the movie.
Oh my gosh. Will mentions that his love life or lack thereof is not his company's business. When he went on the show, he invited the company into his love life, and because of his choices, their sales have been tanking for months. Will just calls it a temporary setback. Kelsey ended their engagement. She thought she was marrying into a successful company, but that's not the case anymore. One of his colleagues, it was Doug, I believe, he says that tends to happen when you break up with America's sweetheart and get dumped by the woman you replaced her with. Thanks to the producers of the show. That's their fault.
Well, and when they talk about it, when you say break up with America's sweetheart, are they talking about Hannah or are they talking about Kelsey?
I don't know.
Because I was confused a little bit there, because the way I was thinking in my head that they were saying Kelsey was America's sweetheart, but Hannah was clearly America's sweetheart. But then I think it was because he says, then you get dumped by the one you replaced her. So it had to be America's sweetheart was Hannah. So
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Before they said the last part of that sentence, I was thinking, are they talking about Kelsey?
Right. Because that was my first inclination, was that it was about Kelsey. And I'm like, did the producer want me to say that? Because that's not what they were feeling, I'm sure.
No. But then I was like, oh, they're talking about Hannah. Yes. That makes sense.
Yes.
Will is in trouble with the internet trolls and Hannah's army, which is still out for him. Hannah's Knights.
I know, right?
I love that her fans are called Hannah's Knights and her last name is Knight.
I know, right? It's great.
Hannah Knight.
Yes. And it was funny because I was like, that is so cool though, because when you think about it, they're like, I envision, like, because they said Knights, I was thinking, are they all like, guys that are out there supporting her? Or are they actually women? Or like, you know what I mean? Because we never really saw them really. Did we see
her students?
Except her students, yes.
Yeah.
So
I know that we saw that one scene, and I'll talk about it in a few minutes, where she was on her computer and on her phone looking at all the social media posts. Speaking of Hannah's students, we see a scene with her teaching, and Hannah finds out from Kyla that Will and Kelsey broke up. Her dad knew too, but didn't tell her out of protection. So this was in the next scene after the one with her students. She's at the store with her dad and talking to him, and he tells her that he knew and didn't tell her to protect her, which I thought was really sweet.
Yes, but she wasn't too happy at first.
No, she's like, you didn't tell me, or you knew about this and didn't tell me.
Yes.
Despite everything that she went through on the show, it helped put Sweet Nights on the map. Jim mentions to Hannah that her mom was so much better at running the place than him. He can grow the apples, and she had a much better love for crunching the numbers and keeping them in the black. And Hannah tells her dad that he has her mom's love of people, which I can see that.
Yes, I can so see that too. Just based on how he described it, and kind of his character and how he watches her and looks at her. You can feel,
Jim is such a good guy.
He is very much
such a good dad.
He is.
Hannah has another phone conversation with Carly. She's asked if she's going to reach out to Will since he and Kelsey broke up. Hannah says no. And I have the dialogue written down, which I'll mention that.
Yes, I know.
That's a little bit because
yes,
we have to talk about that scene. Jim runs into Will on the way home. Will's car broke down, and we can come to the conclusion that Jim offered to help. And then he offers him a ride. And we see Will at Jim and Hannah's house. Jim goes up to Hannah's room and, says, you need to come see this, or, you need to come downstairs. And she's like, why? And then she immediately sees Will, and she's just like, no.
She runs like the funny thing, and I don't know, but the first thing I was thinking was, where did Will walk through that he was so dirty?
I don't know. Maybe it was from being under the car. Maybe,
and that's trying to fix what it was. Yeah, he was
probably from the mud, and then also being kind of under the car trying to fix whatever was broken.
Yeah, he was covered. He was still cute though.
Yes.
It's kind of funny. It reminds me because your parents talk about when you fall in love with somebody and that.
Yeah.
And the whole storyline of him trying to come back to Hannah, and that it's like everything is going wrong for him.
Everything's going wrong.
And you're like, oh, I really want him to finally win one time, you know?
Oh, yeah. The next scene, you know, Hannah's up in her room and it's just Jim and Will talking downstairs. Will doesn't really have a place to stay. He says that he's going to stay at the Red Rug Inn, or as Jim calls it, the Bed Bug Inn. I wrote, ew.
Right? That's so true, though. Like, you always have that of certain hotels and that. So,
yeah. Because of that, Jim invites Will to stay in their guest room, which is basically the sofa.
Right. Right. Open concept, you know.
Yeah, open. I love how Will just like looks at the blanket, I think, and he's like, okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
And then, you know, we see him get up the next morning. His hair is all disheveled.
Oh my gosh.
And Hannah comes in. I think she got coffee or something. And, you know, he's like, Hannah, in like a really sleepy kind of tone of voice. And she just looks at him and she's like, no. Rachel Boston in that scene.
Yes.
Like her nose were perfect.
Yes, they were.
Perfectly delivered.
Absolutely. No. It's like, just go back to bed, buddy, and your hair's a mess, but you know what? Go back to bed. No.
Oh my gosh.
Will's character on that scene, you know, because he was being real, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you started to have a better appreciation of his character because he's not this pretentious rich person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is this, I was just laying on a sofa after I had been, you know, working on a car and probably didn't take a shower. I don't even know if they took a shower or not, or he was cleaner, so he must have, I guess. But yeah, you get a better appreciation of his character at that time.
So Hannah finally agrees to talk to Will, and you know, they go on a walk, they have a conversation. He admits that the decision he made on the show was misguided, wrong, and stupid on so many levels, and that he and Kelsey were never really a couple. And then, you know, he goes on to talk about the breakup with Kelsey and how she went back to California and he went back to Denver, and they spoke about once a week. He mentions to Hannah that he let Tyson, you know, play mind games with him by reading the transcript of what she said to her dad. What Tyson had told him put doubt in his mind for the feelings he had for Hannah. And, you know, Hannah mentions that he left out the most important part of what she said, which we had already mentioned. And he apologizes and shares how after the finale, millions of her fans organized a boycott against his company. After about a month, his sales bottomed out. So the board gave him an ultimatum, which is that he either fixes the bad press from both breakups or he's out as CEO. And the solution he has is faking an engagement.
Which, you know, in his position, that's about the only thing he could do.
Yeah. I also, it's kind of funny, but awesome at the same time, how Rachel's movie from Saturday night, she was fake dating, and then in the engagement plot, she was faking an engagement.
Oh wow! See, I didn't see it. I know it was something about the Delaney's or something.
Dating the Delaney's, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I knew that one was on too, but I haven't watched it yet.
It was good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was just kind of funny though. Like first she was faking dating.
Right. Now she's fake dating. She kind of skipped it first.
Fake dating and then fake being proposed.
That's so funny.
Or fake being engaged is what I mean.
Right. Wow. Oh yeah, I have to watch that.
Yeah. It was a Rachel Boston weekend on TV.
Right? I did see that, but I haven't seen that movie yet.
Yeah. You should check it out. It's good. Jim and Will, they go fly fishing, and Jim, you know, is talking to Will about Hannah and her mom. When they're talking about Hannah, Jim tells Will that he's never interfered too much in her personal life. He's always thought that life's the best teacher. Will goes on to say that he never stopped caring for Hannah despite everything that happened, and it makes him sick what he did to her on the finale.
I know. Tells you right there he's in love with
Yeah.
her.
Yes. Right there.
Feeling sick is such a good thing when you're in love, though.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but it's true.
Ever since Hannah's mom passed away, she and her dad have been as close as two peas in a pod. She's strong and independent. She doesn't care about money or prestige. If she's closed the door, it's unlikely she'll reopen it.
Mm-hmm.
Jim says that she did care for Will, and if she were to reopen that door, she'd want to know it is because he is interested in getting to know her without any cameras or the pressure of his business.
Yeah. She wants to see the real Will.
Yeah. Hannah finds past due bank statements while at the shop with Carly. So the store is in trouble.
Yeah. I know. It's sad. I couldn't imagine as a daughter, like finding something like that of my dad's, you know, or not knowing and not telling me, you know.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for her.
So this is what leads into the engagement plot that Hannah wants to be in on because she wants to help her dad, which we find out in one of the last scenes in the movie. So
yes, I know it was, but you know what? It was her way to help her dad.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Hannah, of course, goes to Denver with Will, and she meets Doug, who is the head of marketing. Will mentions that Doug promises the stunt will save the company. Also, we get a sighting from Brian and Patty Bird.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch it at first.
I don't think I did.
Saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It took me the second rewatch, or it took me the second viewing to see it, but that was really cool.
Yes, I know, and seeing Brandon Clark in there too behind the camera.
Yeah, I saw Brandon in there too.
Huh?
I think twice, maybe?
Yeah, I think twice.
I think it was 2 times. The first time I think was in the scene when he visited Kelsey's family, and you know, he's behind the window, I think.
Well, I think he was also in the one when they ate lunch.
He was in that one too. Yep, okay, he was in that one as well.
But I think he also was in the first couple scenes when they're all out. Was that the one? It's an outside shot. I can't remember.
You could be right. I think I missed it, but yeah, he was in there a few times too. That was awesome. That's
so cool.
Brandon did a great job directing this movie.
Absolutely. I know, right?
Yes. Will and Hannah go ring shopping, and she eventually finds one that looks just like her mother's engagement ring that was from her dad. She was going to give it to Hannah when she graduated high school, but they were struggling financially, so it had to be sold. And of course, she can't get that ring because Doug signed a promotional contract with the store.
I know. It was so sad.
She has to get the Bridgerton ring.
Right. I know. I kept seeing that. Everybody was tweeting that too. Or well, that's what she said.
Yeah. A little too Bridgerton for my
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I've actually never seen that show, but I do know what it is.
But I do know what they meant. Yeah, me too, because I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah.
It's too funny. I know. I was really sad during that one. I was
sad
during that scene.
Will and Hannah, they have their lunch and they're talking about a lot of different things. You know, Will's talking about his business, and of course they talk about the show, and they find out how each of them got on the show. Hannah says that her best friend Carly signed her up without telling her. And she was really mad about it at first. But then the producers called and they were so eager to meet her that she just got, you know, caught up in the moment and excitement of it all. Hannah asks Will how he got on the show. He says that it was because Doug had some contacts at the network and thought it would be good for Glamorous, which is the company he is the CEO of, you know, free exposure, and just blindly went along with it. When Will launched his company out of business school, he had a small amount of money saved up and a lot of arrogance to think he could make a difference. He had a vision that he could build a business that would help people while growing something meaningful. After a few years, they had some lucky breaks, great press, and just blew up. Glamorous came along and offered to merge with his company and make him CEO. He is ashamed to admit he lost sight of his first love of the business. Helping people took a backseat to building his wealth and brand. He thinks it's too late to go back to his first love of business because of everything that's happened. But Hannah doesn't think so. She doesn't give up on people. She just chooses to see the good in them. I also love in that scene when Will is, asking her why she's on the show. And he says that the better he gets to know her, the more she seems like the type of person that would laugh at a reality dating show, not participate in one, which is a huge compliment.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. She just more together than those girls, you know what I mean? Like, she calmer, she was more focused,
Yeah. Oh, this scene after the launch makes me want to pull my hair out. Like, go away, Tyson, go away. We don't need you.
I know. Yeah, he needed to go.
Just go.
Move on.
So Will and Tyson, they have that meeting in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
And Will's lawyers have looked over that deal, and his obligations to Tyson and the show ended after it aired. Tyson mentions that Will's lawyers need to take another look because it gives them the right to derivative content up to 18 months after the first episode is shot. Tyson wants to do an interview with Will and Hannah and Deidre to talk through some things. And I love how Will confronts Tyson and he's like, why? You never liked Hannah.
Right.
And, he says how, he manipulated him. Mm-hmm. And Tyson unconvincingly says that it was an error in judgment and that he wasn't into the whole holy Hannah thing. Faith, hope, and joy, I think is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, let's give the audience what they want. Will just says, wow, you just ooze sincerity.
I know, right? You just ooze sincerity.
Yes, Will.
Yes, I was so happy in that moment.
Oh, gosh.
Like, tell them like it is. Tell them how you really feel.
Tyson has figured out that the engagement is fake. Mm-hmm. As he's walking away, he's just like, what's Hannah going to say when we blow this up on Twitter?
Right.
Go
does
away.
He know that Hannah already knows about it too?
Yeah, how does he know that?
Yeah, I don't think he knows that Hannah knows though, does he?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think he does because I thought he was trying to threaten Will, and maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
He was trying to threaten Will, like, what will Hannah think if it's,
Yeah, that's what he said. Fake, yeah.
Or whatever. Because at first I'm like, how does he not know that Hannah and him are on it together?
Yeah.
But may not.
Will's parents think he and Hannah are actually engaged because he didn't have the heart to tell them otherwise. And then, we see Hannah meet his parents, and his parents bring Jim and Carly to visit, and see her. Hannah, Carly, and Will's mom, Willa is her name.
Yeah.
They go wedding dress shopping. And Willa tells Hannah that they never thought Kelsey was right for Will and that she was always their favorite, referring to Hannah, of course. And they decide to buy her the wedding dress. That was a beautiful dress.
It was a beautiful dress. I don't know if that would be one I would pick, but it was a beautiful dress.
I probably would wear one like that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. I mean, I think wedding dresses, and honestly, I never wore, well, I can't say that, but anyway, the dresses are like distinctly different. Like you always see different types for different personalities, or being conservative or not being conservative. You know what I mean? So I don't like, showing my shoulders or anything. I may not have, well, not that, just the whole openness of it. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I don't like dresses that are too revealing. Like, I don't mind showing my shoulders a little bit, but
Right.
like, of course, the cut of the dress, I don't like it being too low cut.
Right. Right.
But that was a beautiful dress.
The whole idea behind the wedding dress is like, you're covering yourself up so later on they can, find out, what you look like underneath there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Will and Hannah, they have the interview with Deidre for the show. Will thinks Kelsey is a great person and that they'll always have a great friendship. But after several months of getting to know one another better, they realize that friendship is all their relationship is. Hannah admits that Will hurt her deeply when he broke up with her on national TV. But she says that her dad has always taught her holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. So after the show, she went home and threw herself into everything she loved, teaching, spending time with her dad and her friends who are there today, and getting back to a quiet, peaceful life. She never wants to go through any of what she went through on the show again, but there was something real that came from the show, and that is her love for Will. And then
I know.
The proverbial mic drops.
Yes.
As they bring
Kelsey
in. I wrote, ugh, in my notes.
I had some other words, but I'm not going to say them, but I'm like, no way.
Like they did not just do that.
No, they did not, because Tyson had this all planned out.
Hannah, she goes back home and she has another conversation with her dad, and he mentions how even if Sweet Nights has to close, he'll be okay, and that she needs to focus on her life and not worry about him. And she says that's impossible or something along those lines, she'll always,
like, you're my dad,
Yes. When it comes to Will, he says that maybe he was right for her, maybe he wasn't, but in any case, she's going to be okay. After that conversation, we see Will have another meeting with the board, and he resigns as CEO of Glamorous Cosmetics. The last scene, Will and Hannah see each other again, and they have another conversation. He tells her about resigning as CEO and that it's the best decision he's made in a long time. He also says that the company has run its course and it's time for him to move on to something else, which is helping Hannah and Jim with the store and investing in it with his settlement money that he got from resigning, which was really nice.
That's so nice.
Yes, and really thoughtful.
I think he was doing it too because he felt so bad for what he did to Hannah, and that was one of the most important things to her, was helping her dad.
Yes.
He thought, if I do this, this is definitely a good thing. She'll look differently at me.
Yes. They start talking about the show again, and Will agrees with Hannah that nothing on The Price of Love is real except what she said when they first met, which is
true
love is what makes us real.
Yep.
And then he proposes with the ring that looks
like oh my gosh. I cried during that whole scene.
It was a beautiful scene.
I am like the biggest sap ever. Like,
I know.
You hear people talking about the Folger commercials during all the Hallmark stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Films or JC, whatever now, and these commercials come on, and my daughter looks at me and goes, "Are you crying, Mom?" I'm like, "Stop, just don't even talk to me right now."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I cried during that whole scene. It was so touching.
Just wait until you start watching Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Oh yeah.
And you get to read it in Norman and Shane and Oliver's engagement.
Yes, I'm sure I will lose it.
Just wait. You're going to be a bucket of tears.
I'll bring my Kleenex box just in case.
Yeah, bring like 5.
5 of them.
Or 4, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bring more than one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said them in chronological order. I won't tell you what movies they happen in.
Okay.
But I said them in the order they happen.
Gotcha. I'll remember that. I will remember that on Twitter, especially.
Spoiler alert.
I know, right? I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen that. I don't want to see that yet. No, it's all good. I like to rewatch things sometimes. Not always. There's certain things that I've rewatched.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about some of our favorite moments or funniest moments from the movie?
Maybe the favorites. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to go first since you're the guest?
I want to look at my notes here because I did take some notes. I really like the scene when Will asked Hannah about what she defines as true love, or what true love means to her.
Yeah, that was in the very first.
Yes, I really liked that moment when he asked her that, and her response was very genuine, you know.
Yeah.
I liked how she brought her mom into it, you know, and how that, and that really kind of personified who she was in that moment too, you know, to me anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm trying to think here. And I think it was the other one when Will was, you know, telling, I think it was Deirdre and Tyson, how he felt about Hannah.
Yep.
You know, that was another one of my favorite parts, because he was pretty much, without saying who he was going to picking her.
Yep.
With his words, and how he described that, how he felt with her. And, you know, that was just such a touching moment too. And I knew right then that he was in love with her, you know.
Yeah.
So that was another one.
That was one of mine too.
And then of course the one with her dad at the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I cried during that one too.
That was a good one. Yeah.
So touching, you know, and the way her father was just saying that no matter what happens in your life, you know, you'll always have a home to come home to, you know, always be for you. And it was just such a touching moment between a daughter and a father. And I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely one of my top favorite moments in the movie.
Yes. The only other one that I think that I really loved was the proposal, the end.
Yep.
You know, the way he presented it to her, and the way he looked up at her, and he like moved his head, you know, and he was just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just something about the way he was talking to her and the way, I know, right?
Yeah. It was just really sweet.
Oh, it was so touching. And I have to give Trevor props. I'm going to say, you know, Trevor instead of Will, but that scene, he played that scene so well. I mean, like, I was like, if I didn't know it was a movie, I would have thought he was proposing to somebody in real life. Like, that's how realistic it was to me. And that takes a lot for me, because I am a sap, you know, and I see all these, you know, movies and different things, but that movie was like, in that moment, you were like there with them, and they were like two real people. Yeah. You know,
they did really well in that scene.
Yes, they did.
And of course, the rest of the movie as well.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great movie.
I didn't even want to go to the bathroom. Like, when I'm tweeting and everything, I'm like, I can't miss any of this, you know, because I'm tweeting, but I'm trying to watch it too. And and it was funny because in the live he did with the other podcast, he had said, they're like, well, you're going to be live tweeting. And he's like, well, I'd rather just want to watch it. Well, when we were tweeting during this movie, or not we, but me, I'm sure everybody else was doing this too. I really wanted to watch it. I didn't want to tweet. I really wanted to watch it, but I wanted to make sure the movie was trending. So, you know, a lot of us were tweeting and you know, and so, but that was crazy though, to want to watch it that bad. Cause usually I'll tweet and I'll, you know, be like, oh, I'll watch it tomorrow. But I was like catching myself stopping tweeting so I could watch it. Yeah. And, you know, that doesn't happen too often with me doing that. So. Yeah, I think he was on a live with Suspenders Unbuttoned. I think that's who he did the live with. Yes. Before the movie. Yes. But yeah, so those are pretty much all my favorite moments. Those are great. I love with Carly, the moments with Carly too. Yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah. The first one, of course, you know, the phone conversation when she's in the castle and Hannah says, and they have us on a really tight leash, so no spoilers get out. It's super secret. You have to be very quiet. And Carly's like, you chose me for your one allowed phone call? Yes. You're too good to be BFF. I think we need to break up. Yes. I remember that. Yes. It was so good. Jax did such a good job on that character. She really did. And I just remember her post from online when she says, I really want to be your best friend. I'm auditioning for the best friend roles, and that's what I remember when I was watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, she finally got her best friend role, and so I was so happy for her.
Yes. And talking about the other scenes with Carly, the second phone conversation when Hannah is back home. This is after the show is ended and Hannah is grading papers.
Yes.
Carly says, OMG, girl, what are you doing? Grading papers? Hannah's like, grading papers? Yes. Carly says, I am so glad you finally found out. I have been bursting inside to tell you. Hannah says, somehow the whole world knew before I did. Carly, well, how do you feel? Are you going to reach out to him? No, I think I'd rather move to the desert and become a monk. Or what do they call a female monk? I believe it's monkette.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's it.
No.
Anyway, the point is, I get it. You're doing the whole he doesn't deserve me thing. But do I need to remind you how much he makes in a week? Do I need to remind you how much he stomped on my heart on national TV?
Right.
Yeah, no, don't have a comeback for that. He deserves to sleep with the fishes.
The fishes. I know. I love that line. I wrote that one down that night, actually, on the paper. I was like, that was such a good line right there. She needs to have a t-shirt with that on it. Seriously.
He deserves to sleep.
He deserves to sleep with the fishes.
Oh, gosh. Carly's conversation at the house with Hannah, she comes in and she says, I can't believe he actually thought you were going to fall for that stupid idea. Where is he? He is not here. He is fly fishing with my dad. Wait, preppy boy? Fly fishing? We're talking about Will Preston, right? Yes, Will Preston is currently wearing rubber pants.
I know, I remember that too. And then don't they go into talking about what they're called? Dumb waiters or whatever?
I think that was before that, yeah.
Before that, okay.
Yeah. I think it was when Hannah and Jim and Will were all talking.
Maybe that's what it was.
This was a funny moment I have written down, but the home visit with Kelsey and her brother, Karsten, texting.
Yes. And
Kelsey's like, really, Karsten? This is going to be on TV. You know that, right? And Karsten's just like, whatever.
Oh, and then when he takes his shirt off and he's got because he wants to be like go viral on Instagram. So I can't remember what he had on his
I have it written down. Hashtag K-Chain Beast.
That's great. That's great.
And then he just runs off. And Kelsey's just like, oh my God.
I think it's so funny though. Because and I don't know how old she is, but if you have a younger brother, or even a younger sister, that they're going to be like, especially a younger brother would be like, oh, this is so annoying. Like, I'd rather be gaming right now or something,
I have a younger brother.
Yeah, so you know.
All he does is play on the game.
Yep.
But he likes soccer too, so.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Well, the other kid liked surfing, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I love the line. I don't have it written down when Will asks, where he likes to surf, and he says it's one spot, and then he's like, but this place is where all the chicks are at.
Yes. All the chicks are there. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's, and I don't know what his age was right there.
I don't know.
14 or 15, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 16 at most.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the scene with Will and Jim fly fishing and, how they were talking about Hannah. That was really sweet.
Yeah, it was very sweet. It was almost like they were kind of showing what the future might be like if it's his son-in-law,
Yeah. Also, can I just say I loved Leo?
Leo was great.
Yes.
That's my man at the end, when
he I had that written down. That's
I love that. Or that's my boy or something he said.
Yeah, that's my man is what he said. Or no, he said my
man. That's right, my man. Yeah, he was great. Because I remember the opening when he's in the car and he's like,
Are you
Boss,
sure you're ready to do this?
this?
He's like, I don't have a choice.
Right.
I also love how when they get to the hotel, the references that Leo makes to Kim and Kanye and Harry and Meghan and Justin Bieber.
Yes. When they're getting out of the car, he's like, I know I saw Harry up the road or something. He's like,
Harry and Meghan eating lunch up there.
Yes. Why don't you go find them?
Oh my gosh. I did love the kiss that Hannah gave Will, as they were talking to the press. And she's like, we're so happy.
Yes. And he's like looking at her like, oh.
As they're walking into the hotel, he says, I don't think we even ever kissed like that on the show. And Hannah's like, yeah, don't get used
to it. Yes. That was a good line. I like that too.
Oh.
That was. Yeah, because I remember when she kissed him, he was like looking at her going, wow, she's all in.
Yeah. Also, Leo complimenting Hannah and, him kind of having her back. And he tells Will only an absolute moron would break her heart. And Will's like, guilty as charged, my friend, Leo. So what are your intentions with her? Who are you? Her dad? Hey, I'm just trying to make sure you treat her right. She doesn't deserve to be put through the ringer again. I'm not planning on letting that happen. If I'm ever lucky enough to win her heart back, I'll never let her go.
I know. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
There's a scene too, and I don't know if you have mentioned on this one where I think it's when he was telling her they had the contractual agreement where they had to go back on the show. Remember, they're in the car.
I think so. Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna drop that bomb on me like that?
Yeah. That was funny. I think that's also when he tells her that he didn't tell his parents that they were actually not engaged.
Yes. And she's like, what?
Also, back to another car scene, and this is after they had gone ring shopping. I love how she's talking about how she's sorry that she acted that way about the ring, and Will invites her to lunch, and she says, all right, sure, maybe I could order a modest salad or something.
Yes. I thought that was so good.
Also, when they're ring shopping, talking about the second ring.
Yes.
And how it's like a little too pokey.
Yes.
Using it as self.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, that was great. I love
Rachel nailed that.
Oh yeah, she totally did. Well, and it's funny because when you have a ring like that, not that I have rings like that, but if I did, I would think the same thing, because there's certain rings and things that I won't wear because they catch on sweaters.
Yeah.
They hit things when you're wearing them. And so I've lost stones before because of the style of ring she was trying on. Not that mine was by any means. Yeah. But yeah, they're pokey. She's right. Yeah.
A little too pokey.
Mm-hmm.
The wedding dress shopping. This is a clip that we see in the preview, before the movie aired, and Carly is like, oh my Lord. And Hannah's like, what on earth are we doing?
Yes.
Bunko doesn't sound so bad now.
It's funny, but I don't even know if a lot of people know what bunko is.
I don't.
You don't? Well, I believe, and I could be wrong, but they use like big dice. There's 2 dice, big dice. And I don't know how the game's played, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's bunko.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I also love the pep talk that Carly gave Hannah when she had the second dress on.
Yes.
It's really sweet.
Yes, it was very sweet.
I cannot go by in this recap without mentioning how much I loved Will roasting Kelsey and then Deidre roasting Tyson.
Yes.
At the interview, Will, when Kelsey shows up, he says, you want to talk about spinning the truth, Kelsey? Unlike what you've been telling everyone, you broke up with me. Not on a phone call, not even over a text, but to your 3 million plus followers. Hi. On social media without even talking to me first after ghosting me for weeks. My company was struggling. You suddenly realized I might not be your golden goose anymore.
I know, that was good. That was very good.
And then Deidre, She's like, nice work, boss. Congrats on the interview of a lifetime and for wrecking the lives of two really nice human beings.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Deidre.
I was waiting for her to finally, tell him off, basically, in a sense.
Thank you, Deidre.
Yes. Yes.
That smug look that he was giving when Hannah was walking away, I was just like,
Right.
It's like, go away.
Yes.
Oh.
Because he was rooting for I didn't understand that, because he knew that Hannah was the favorite. So why would you continue to try to bring in the person that is not doing anything for the show?
I don't know, cause trouble.
Right. Well, I guess they wouldn't have a plot, would they?
Yeah, that's
there
true.
Would be a plot to the movie if there wasn't the bad and good.
Yeah. And then, of course, the last scene, the proposal, is probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I liked how they talked first a little bit,
Yeah.
Because you kind of felt how they were feeling in the moment. And then, when he finally decided that he was going to propose to her, it was just, when he says, I'm going to do it the right way this time, or, whatever he had said in that moment. But yeah, it was really good. It's very touching.
I would say that my most tear-worthy moments were Will breaking things off with Hannah on the show. And I have what he says written down. He says, Hannah, you captivated my heart from the first time I saw you. I knew right away there was something incredibly special about you, and I could see us having a life together. The thing is, we live in two totally different worlds. I'm just afraid that my life and my work will take you away from your dad, your hometown, your students. Hannah, I just can't. I won't do that to you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I know. My heart just broke for her. Oh, because, you hear about people that go through these things in real life. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. I'm just one of those people. I wear my heart on my sleeves, and you risk everything for love. It doesn't matter, because you may miss out on the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah. Also, Hannah on her computer seeing all the mean comments from social media and then reading all the support.
Yes.
Made me cry too.
Yes.
And then, of course, the song in the background was like perfectly staged.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through something like that. And then, I was glad they had the good and the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need the good in order to get the bad to get to the good, in a sense.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they.
Yeah. And of course, Hannah's speech during the interview.
Yes.
I have it written down. She says, I'm not going to bend the truth anymore. Will and I did come up with a plan to pretend that we're engaged. He needed to save his company, and I needed some extra money to help my dad keep his store open. And we wanted a good story for why we were working together. And I'm really sorry, Dad. I would do just about anything to help you. And to Will's parents, Lila and Harrison, I'm so sorry for deceiving you. I am as much to blame for all of this. I could have said no to this crazy idea. And to all of my supporters and friends, Hannah's Knights, I'm really sorry for letting you down. This did start out as an engagement of convenience. And for a moment or two, it was more than that. But I should never have let it go this far. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for getting your hopes up that we could actually make this work. I now realize that this isn't a real love story. This is just a dream inside a fantasy, inside some kind of reality show. And there's not any reality in that. I'm a school teacher from Lark Springs, Colorado, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So I'm going to go back to my real life, and I hope you can get back to yours too.
I know. I don't know how she got through all that. I mean,
Rachel did amazing.
Yeah, she did very well. I mean, and again, this is like another moment, like I said at the end, when you just felt like it was so real. Like you could feel her emotion through her words, and just, it was touching. I mean, it really.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't leave.
Yeah, don't leave.
Don't do it. Don't let Kelsey win.
Yeah. Her conversation with her dad, which we have talked about a lot.
Yes, that was such a good scene right there. And it was Very good scene.
Do we want to get into some trivia before we wrap up? Trivia?
Sure. I just hope I know the answers.
So my first one is, what is the name of Hannah's hometown in Colorado? I just mentioned it.
Is it Rock Springs?
Lark Springs.
Oh, Lark Springs. Okay.
Yeah.
Lark Springs. Okay.
What were Will and Kelsey doing on their first date or interaction?
They were playing horseshoes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right? That's awesome.
What kind of job does Kelsey's dad have?
Kelsey's dad is a real estate broker.
Ding, 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 ding. That's 2 out of 3.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
What is the name of the man who brought Hannah and Jim their mail to the store? So I'll give you a few options for this.
Okay.
Derek,
Okay.
John, Robert, or Cody?
I want to say Derek.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Good job. How big was the trout Will caught while fly fishing with Jim? Was it 8 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches, or 9 inches?
So it's in inches and not pounds?
It said inches.
Okay, then it's 5.
Ding, 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 ding. Good job.
I remember 5.
Yes.
But I thought it was pounds. Again, I was tweeting, so.
Yeah. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you for coming on, Cricket.
Yes, thank you too. I really appreciate it. And, it's funny, this is only my second one with somebody who's doing the hosting. So it's been really fun. So thank you so much.
Of course. We can't wait to have you back on again sometime.
I know. Well, definitely have to have you on as well.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I'd love that.
I know we will. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out a few things to do that are kind of exciting and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely want to have you on. So thank you so much again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Having me on.
Oh, yes, of course. And where can people find your podcast on social media?
Dishing with the DonoFANS, and we are on Instagram. Dishing with the DonoFANS is just like it sounds on Instagram, but on Twitter, I believe it's Dishing DonoFANS, because Twitter only allows you so many
characters.
And then we are on YouTube, Dishing with the DonoFANS, and then I'm trying to think here. I'm working on a couple other ones, but so far that's pretty much all of the social media platforms that we're on. So yeah, come check us out. We're going to be doing some really cool things with the fans of Trevor Donovan. So it's exciting. It's a journey that I can't wait to continue on.
I'm excited to see what is in store for.
I know, and I'm so excited about Rama Drama now. I know I'll see you there. I hope you're planning on attending when you come.
Of course, I will come to another one whenever I can.
Absolutely. Well,
as long as it's not too far away.
I know, right? I'm hoping. So let's see. How far of a drive is it to Nashville from where you are?
It's about 9 hours.
Oh, it's still a little way. Okay, it's still a ways away.
But I mean, we do the drive. We drove to Palm Beach. It was about the same.
Oh, okay. So it's still doable then. Okay, cool.
Well, I will link your social media pages in the description of our episodes so people can go follow you and support the podcast.
That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me on, okay?
Of course. This was a lot of fun.
See you on social media.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening to our recap of the engagement plot. We really hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you very soon for our next episode. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.